Hello, hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Frisch Perspectives, where we take a fresh take on life and real estate in New Jersey. We are the Frisch Team. We are a real estate team located in Morristown, New Jersey, recently crowned the #1 producing agents in our office. Congratulations. So let's go ahead and introduce the team. I'll start all the way on the end. We've got Erin Myers over here.
Hi, everyone.
Amani Gabriel.
Hi, everyone.
Raina Steinberg.
Hello, hello.
And I'm Emily Frisch. I'm the team leader. And so before we jump into it today, the first thing I think we should address is being crowned the #1 producing team in the office is a huge achievement, ladies. I'd be interested to know what you guys think contributed to our success in the past year.
Well, I think that we work differently than other teams that you see around the office. We really like to anticipate what our clients' needs, be on top of them, and give them over-the-top service. What do you guys think?
I think we're super collaborative with each other too, like we share business and are involved in what other people on the team are doing. So if there's an opportunity that I can't handle, I can, hand it off to somebody else, or, and vice versa, which leads to growth. And I think we both have great spheres too that we lean into, which is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're also very consistent with our effort. And whenever we're not around, our clients are always covered, and we have somebody that has our back and cover our clients. So consistency has been the key for us.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate that collaborative effort that we have, whether it's just picking up the phone and calling and say, hey, I'm thinking of putting in an offer on this property. This is the price that I think it should be. What do you think? And having extra heads to collaborate on what may be the best strategy for a client. And I think that's helped us to win more deals for our buyers and to get better deals for our sellers as well.
How many times did I call you this week to say, hey, before I proceed with this negotiation, what are your thoughts? This is where my head's at. What do you think? And we would collaborate and make sure that we're making the best decision and negotiating in the most powerful way that we can for our client.
Absolutely. And I think it's unique as well, our team dynamic, in terms of the fact that we have 4 producing agents, right? A lot of teams have 1 or 2 top producers and a couple of people who don't really do a ton of business. I think what's really unique about what we do is that everybody here is a top producer in their own right. And then together, we're just that much more powerful.
Absolutely.
So we kind of figured, as our audience, some of you may be brand new, meeting us for the first time here on this podcast, that we might do something a little bit fun today. And so here on the table, we've got some cards with some random questions, some life questions, some real estate questions that we're just going to pick from and answer. And if you viewers have questions that you would like us to answer on future episodes, feel free to send them over to us, send us a DM, pop it in the comments, and we are happy to oblige. So, is there anybody who's willing to take the first card?
I think you should as our team leader.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I walked right into that one, didn't I? All right, let's see. Let's see what we're going to get today. All right, I'll take this baby right here. What's your personal home buying ick? Okay, so I think for me, a downslope driveway is a non-starter for me. And nothing against it. I think I've got a little PTSD, ladies, from my last house in Morristown that had a downslope driveway.
For that one.
That during a snowstorm, my car went into the fence. So I think there's enough trauma there that I think I'm going to pass on that for future houses.
What about going the other direction? Would you go into what do you think about the steep driveway up? Because we have some of those, and we're hubbed in Morris County, but we go all over, and sometimes you see those really steep driveways.
Right.
So
same rule.
So I don't know what it is about being on top of a mountain. I feel like it almost feels like super elite, like if I'm standing in front of my front door and I just look down at the people below me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't have the same exact feeling for an upslope, but that was a good question.
Okay.
I think you should go next, Erin.
All
All right, girl, you're up.
All right, let's see. What design trend do you secretly love, even though the internet hates it?
Ooh.
See, I could flip this a little bit easier, I think. I'm gonna change the question. I'm going rogue. And one of the design trends that I can't say that I hate, but it's just not for me, is the cascading island. The
Really?
stone that cascades.
The waterfall.
Yeah, the waterfall. Like I just, for some reason, it just doesn't sit right for me, you know? And I know so many people love it. They look beautiful in the design rooms. I get it. But for some reason, for me personally, it's just, I don't love it.
Well, that's okay.
How do you feel about when they take the counter up the backsplash?
Again, I don't love it. I don't know what it is. I think that I like a little bit more. This is just a personal opinion, of course, but I think I prefer a little bit different textures, colors, you know, like I like when a home mixes, you know, a tile with a wood and metal and fabric pieces, you know, like that mixed kind of finishes. So everything cascading into one, it becomes a little bit too uniform for me, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, oh, fine, we're going with Raina next.
All right. Let's pick. Okay. What's a question clients ask constantly that that secretly drives you up a wall? Is it going to go over asking? I think that's the question, because if you're not like educated in the market, and I've tried to educate you already on what's going on, and you're still asking that, and you're not prepared to make a significant offer when it's just come out on the market, let's say it's not been sitting there, you know, but if it's a new home, I think you should be prepared to go over asking if you want to win your bid.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
We do get that question a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, we've seen some crazy things happen in this seller's market that seems to be never ending, despite, you know, interest rates up and down. And, you know, I would agree with you, you know, when you've been working with a buyer for quite some time, you know, and we've gone through the education, at this point, you should know if it's day one on the market and you want to take it off the market, you're going to have to pay more than what they're asking for.
In a strong market, like, because we are still in a pretty strong market. If you're going to be in a desirable town with a train and a walking downtown and a great, you know, great area that is highly in demand, it's to be expected. You know, it's the new pretty girl at the party, and everybody's going to go see it this weekend. You know, it's going to be a popular open house, and it's going to be a popular house.
Absolutely. Well, now it's your turn. You've been
I
skirting
know.
it long enough, girl.
Oh, it's blank. What's the negotiation tactics that you use that always works?
Ooh, I like this. Let's give us your secrets. Tell us.
Spill.
Negotiation tactics.
Man, we know you got lots of tips and
Yeah.
tricks in that brain.
So I think it's all about timing and presenting an offer. When I'm working with a buyer, I either like to be the first offer in or the last offer before the deadline. Where I know if I'm going first, I'm going with asking price to make sure that my offer is not going to be used as leverage.
Yep.
And if somebody asks the listing agent, do you have offers over asking? They're not going to say yes if they don't. So that's been my tactic. And I like to be or if I can make it to be the first offer in, I like to be the last offer. This way, I know also it's not going to be used as leverage, and it's going to have the final say, especially if we're going significantly over. So
I know, that's smart.
That's a good one.
yeah.
Definitely.
All right, I guess it's me again, huh? All right, let's see what we got.
Oh.
Oh gosh, another blank one. What did I do here, ladies? Okay. What's the best part about selling homes in this area, and what's the part you don't like? So I think the same answer for both, actually. So the best part about selling homes in this area is that there's so many really wonderful towns to choose from, right? Highly desirable towns, great downtowns, wonderful suburban neighborhoods with great restaurants and places to go and schools that people want to be in, right? Which gives us a lot of options for our buyers to choose a home. At the same time, with all of those great towns and everybody wanting to be here, I think the part that right now that that's the hardest part is that there's so much competition, and I hate seeing my buyers feel let down that they didn't get a house that they loved. So,
Yeah. Agree. All
right, it's back to you, Erin.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
What home feature do you think is completely overrated in suburban New Jersey?
You're getting all the interior
I know.
design questions.
And I feel like you kind of answered that question already. So what do you guys think? Should she toss that one back and grab another one?
Should we do another
Yeah.
one?
I
Okay,
think
let's
so.
mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it. What's one red flag buyers obsess over that you wish you could delete from the universe?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
A red flag that buyers obsess over. Probably, they get a little very concerned over relatively minor inspection issues. One thing that I try and explain to my buyers is that everything is resolvable. We can resolve most things with a credit or a repair or a renegotiation if it's something more severe even. And we've all been doing this enough and have sold enough houses that we've seen pretty significant environmental or structural issues get resolved, like shifting walls in a basement or water damage in a house or things like that. Like there are things that are resolvable, and it doesn't have to be terrifying to someone as a buyer. Like we can make this right still.
It doesn't have to be a deal breaker.
No, it really doesn't. As long as the right, depending on what it is, of course, like as long as the right remediation is done, as long as, the seller is willing and committed to resolving this with the buyer, because even if you, the buyer, in contract with that house, if they don't resolve it with you, it's going to be an issue with the next buyer anyway, right? So it's better to work out a resolution together. And I think that that's something that people can obsess a little bit too much over sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. See what I get. Without naming names, tell us
Get the tea.
tell us about your most difficult transaction ever. How did you work through it? Ooh, what was my most difficult? I don't know about most difficult because every transaction has a little bit here and there, and most of my sellers or buyers are pretty great. But once, I guess, like Erin said, pretty much everything can be worked out. And if that house isn't for that person, then and it doesn't work out, then we're going to find them something else. So I don't know if that's a fluff answer, but
Maybe a little bit.
a little bit. I don't want to bad talk anybody. So we'll go to the next one.
Well, give me that card. I'll take that card.
There you go.
I'll be the shit talker, okay?
All right.
So, and I'm gonna name names.
Uh-oh.
I'm naming names. So, father of my child, Thomas Ling, I'm sure you're watching because you follow absolutely everything we do. Probably the most difficult seller that I have ever worked with. And this was a 2019 market, so very different than what we're dealing with today. And to be fair, I was newer to the industry. I was a newer real estate agent. He knew better than I did on everything. Yeah. And we did end up making some adjustments to both price as well as the way that the house was staged. And it did make all the difference. And we not only at that point ended up getting one offer, but we ended up getting a backup offer because our first offer was contingent on the buyer selling their current place. The backup offer ended up becoming our offer, and we closed through the front door of our current house because it was the very beginning of COVID. So title slid the paperwork under our front door. We signed it, in our living room, slid it back, between the protection of our glass screen, our glass front door. But, I think being earlier on in my career, as well as dealing with a very particular seller, definitely made that the hardest transaction that I ever had.
And just to close that circle, you guys are still together?
We are. We've got that beautiful baby girl. Yes. So,
Yes,
we made it through. We made it through. All right, Amanda, you're up, girl.
Okay. What's a home inspection moment you still think about? Home inspection moment. I'm trying to think.
Nobody fall through a ceiling. Nothing crazy.
It's always a surprise when you have an oil tank.
Yeah.
So we had a situation with an oil tank underground that was very large. It was huge. And surprisingly, there was no leaks, nothing. So it was, you don't come across oil tanks a lot in Jersey, but that one was okay. So, but I will always remember that one.
Yeah. Especially with the size of it, right?
Yeah, it's huge. Mm-hmm.
So I had a home inspection once where we found multiple underground oil tanks that were no longer in service. I mean, the house was built in the 1800s. Yeah. So I guess over time, as one would fail or what have you, they, rather than take it out and put a new one in, they just added a new one. So we had to have several tanks taken out of the ground, and as well as soil remediation there. But it was a great house. So, very unique, very special house. It's a house I still think about. I thought it would have made a great bachelorette pad. It was so cute. But yeah, that finding an oil tank, a big one or several.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something we don't forget about, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does anyone else have one for that question?
Nothing crazy.
Yeah, no, just kind of your standard stuff for me as well. I had a house years ago. It was it was a really well done flip, and everything was perfect. And my preferred inspector goes in. He goes, "This is one of the best flips that I've inspected in a long time. I'll give you that." However, they completely forgot about something in the attic, and there are droppings throughout the attic, and it was just like a complete oversight. And my clients, when we saw the pictures, he was not kidding. It was significant.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So evict the tenants before closing?
Yes, exactly. They got rid of everything that was in there. The sellers were wonderful and went in, remediated, got it all taken care of right away.
Oh, awesome.
That's good.
Yep.
All right, who's next on that one?
I think, wait.
Where did we leave off? Is it me?
We left off with Amanda, so I think it's me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. See if we get another juicy one. Haha. Who is most likely on the team to be in the office outside of regular office hours? I'm going to go with Erin on this one.
Yeah, it's probably me.
Erin loves to use the Weikert Morristown office as a home base between showings, grab a snack, use the bathroom, print out something quickly. So I think if I were to stop by, on a Sunday in the middle of the day and nobody else is there, her car might certainly be in the parking lot.
Yeah, I pull in very often and I'm the only one there in the building. Absolutely. If I see another car, I'm like, oh, who is that? Who else is here with me? Because I don't want to startle anyone at the same time. I startle easily. So it's like, I like to know who's there, just say hello if I get the chance to.
Yeah. All right. Now it's me.
Erin.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we're back to me.
Wow, we have a lot of cards.
I know. Who's more likely to follow in their mama's footsteps, Zoe or Maya, and why?
Ooh.
Okay, so for the audience, Zoe is Emily's little girl, and Maya is Raina's. They're adorable and so sweet, and I have, You know, it's a hard decision here, but I'm going to have to go with Zoe for one very specific reason. She just did a wonderful little home tour of one of Emily's listings, and my nephew did the video shoot for it, and they were a great tag team, and she was quite the little agent in training. You know, she walked around that house and she showed it beautifully. If there's an option to link below, please do.
I was going to say, we need to link
Yes.
it. That would be
I don't know,
great.
editors. Can we get something somewhere here? We'll have to figure that out in post.
Yeah, we'll cut in a little bit of Zoe showing the living room and telling us how she likes the flowers.
Yeah.
She was adorable. She did a wonderful job.
so
And I'm sure Mayan's going to be in her mama's footsteps too.
Listen, I will say that your nephew did an absolutely incredible job with that video. I would not have imagined that a 10-year-old could put something together that was so professional, and quite frankly, better than I could have done on my own. So kudos to him as well, little businessman we've got over there.
I know, I'm a proud aunt, absolutely. And thank you for hiring him.
Absolutely. Maybe we should link that one below too. All right.
Get another one. Okay, what's the most New Jersey thing that's ever happened during a real estate deal? New Jersey thing that's happened during a real estate. Oh, Erin has one.
I'll jump in while you're thinking.
That's okay.
I had someone approach my seller offering a bag of cash in lieu of.
I have one. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very Jersey.
I mean, that's
A bag of
They wanted to offer, you know, a significant amount of money, you know, out of the contract, so that it wouldn't be reported, I guess.
Let's make a deal.
Okay, now that you said that, I have a thing. I don't know if it's specific New Jersey, but my clients were moving in. It was closing day. We did our final walkthrough. The sellers were getting divorced, and the seller's husband or ex was still in the process of moving everything out of the house. He proceeded to put a kind of sexy photo of the wife, which she had as a poster, out on the corner of the yard so everybody could see the ex-wife. And while we were doing our final walkthrough, obviously my buyer saw this. We were like, wow. She also had a leopard lingerie set, so very Jersey. And one of the owners or a relative of the owner had driven by while we were doing the walkthrough, saw that this poster was out on the curb and like snatched it, started yelling at the homeowner. It was a very Jersey scene. So I still have pictures. I can't share with you guys, but I'll show you later.
Do you have any that you could think of?
I do. I was working with a buyer, and we pulled in. I was show him a home, and the next door neighbor, comes up to me, and he's explaining to me the dispute he has with the homeowner over the tree on the seller's property that the neighbor wants him to take down. And if they're gonna sell the house, I should tell the new buyer that they will need to move the tree on their property because too many leaves fall on their backyard. So that was very loud. So, very Jersey.
Loud would be Jersey. So I will say, speaking of loud and Jersey, and I hope that my, former buyers actually see this because it was hysterical. This was height of COVID market. You've got people back to back looking at houses, crazy 40, 50 offers on houses. And my buyers and I walk through this house that they decide is definitely the one. And as we're walking out of the house, the next set of buyers coming to view the house are, coming in. And there was nothing wrong with this house. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. And she starts speaking very loudly, enough so that the people near us could hear, "Emily, I absolutely cannot buy this house. The mold, the asbestos. This house is terrible. No one should buy this house." I'm like trying not to laugh out loud because that would totally, the jig would be up. Unfortunately, that didn't end up being their house, but they bought a wonderful house. So
Yeah. And I'm sure it didn't deter the other people from seeing how gorgeous that house was.
probably not, but it was definitely a
But it was
moment.
yeah.
All right, I think you're up, girl.
Okay. What is the wildest deal breaker you have ever witnessed? Deal breaker. I wouldn't know. Okay, I'll tell you this. I was representing a seller, and during the open house showing, the seller they had the Ring camera, and she sent me a video, and she said these buyers, they were standing outside and they were really talking negatively about the house and how she's assuming there's a well there and maybe there's septic there, and it was a gorgeous home. And she said, I will absolutely not sell this home to this buyer. So if you're looking at a home and there's a Ring camera, you'll be amazed how clear the sound travels. Even if you're a little far, don't assume that just because you're down the steps, they're not going to hear you. So I would wait till you're off the premises to discuss the house.
That's a good tip. I think we talked about that earlier this week, actually, about, assume that the walls have ears. And have any conversations about price negotiations or things that you don't like about a house, far, far away from it.
And they did ended up putting an offer, and was rejected. I mean, we had higher offers, but it was even if it was the highest offer, that was just there was no recovery from that.
All right.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's your turn.
Oh, my turn. Let's see what we got. What's the first thing you wish every first-time homebuyer understood before their first showing?
Oh.
So I actually feel really strongly about this one, and not just for first-time homebuyers, but for all homebuyers. The likelihood that you're going to get something that checks every single box perfectly within your budget, with no changes, no nothing, it's unlikely. With that being said, we aim to find 80% of what it is that you're looking for, with the other 20% being something you could either change or live with, right? So I think really doing that list of must-haves, nice-to-haves, what's the one thing that you could let go of if everything else were perfect? Because I get it. First-time homebuyers, it's your first house, you have big dreams, you're going to be there forever, which is probably also unlikely because most people move every 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
But that being said, kind of coming in with a more of a realistic attitude, especially if budget is something that's a concern, which for most first-time home buyers it is, that there may be some things that you're going to have to concede on.
Yeah.
So we are down to just a little bit of time left. So I think we could probably get one more question that maybe everybody can answer. Let's hope it's an easy one. Let's see. Let's go with this one. All right. I think we could all probably agree on this one.
Uh-oh.
Who is most likely to show up to a team meeting early, on time, and fashionably late?
It's a tie
So-
for the late one.
Let's maybe do a point, okay, ladies? Who's most likely to show up early?
Erin.
That's Erin all the way.
All the time.
And
She showed up half an
Emily.
hour early today.
Maybe
Emily
me.
would be on time.
I'm going to
She
say I'm
shows
the
up-
on time.
Yeah, she's the on time.
Yeah.
I'm
Sorry,
your- I'm
ladies.
your hit
We're
or miss.
equally-
I'm hit or miss.
Okay, I'm always late. You can take sometimes. I'll take always. Okay. It's a good thing they say people that are always late are very optimistic. And they think that they could get more done than they actually can.
Very
So
hopeful they'll be
it's
ahead of their-
it's a hopeful
all
thing.
the lights are going to be green. Yes.
Exactly.
We're going to manifest it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I will say, being late for us is one thing, being late for clients is another, and you're always there for your
Yes.
clients. So I'd rather you be fashionably late for us
Exactly.
and on time for clients. So with that last question, I want to thank everybody for joining us today on our very first episode of Frisch Perspectives. And we look forward to chatting with you more offline, and hopefully you'll join us next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
bye guys.